In 1996, I published a book called Surviving the Global Financial Crisis, The Economics of Hope for Generation X. In the first two paragraphs, it forecasts the meltdown as being absolutely inevitable. The message was so dead on and so relevant to the current situation that I have now republished it under the title A Miracle in Waiting. It's the same book except for some minor changes in one chapter. When the meltdown came, of course, it brought frightening results. And once again, the apologists, including Alan Greenspan, the longtime chairman of the Federal Reserve System, treated it as a once-in-a-lifetime thing. In other words, part of a natural cyclical system that we just had to put up with. But there were some people who saw it coming, including some insiders in the financial system who knew very well what was happening and made large bets that would yield huge profits when the meltdown occurred. What is missing this time is the kind of incisive investigation that had occurred in 1933. It was left to private individuals to do the sleuthing. A few days ago, I saw a documentary called Inside Job. How many of you have seen it? A few of you have. Every single one of you should see it. It is a masterpiece, and I urge you to take a close look at it. Ferguson proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that the present world financial crisis, like the one during the 1930s, was a direct result of actions taken by a small group of insiders in the financial industry. He proved beyond doubt that the top echelon in Wall Street is rotten to the core. This small clique was responsible for a meltdown that has cost the poorest people in the world about $20 trillion in damages. 20 trillion. Are any of you old enough to remember when the Liberal Party was defeated in 1957 because C.D. Howe said, "What's a million?" It's sort of like pocket money now, isn't it? Strangely, not one of the people who were involved in this situation has been put in jail. Equally bad, the leaders of the G20 group of countries are either unaware of the facts or have chosen to ignore them. This is a total dereliction of duty on their part, because all they have done so far is to treat some of the symptoms and left the system basically intact so that some future small group of swindlers can do it to us again. It should be obvious, even though it doesn't seem to be, that neither Canada nor the world can adequately solve problems without a dramatic change in the monetary and banking system. When it comes to what should be done, however, there are as many solutions as there are monetary reformers. And this has been one of the problems for a long while. Some of the plans are workable, some are not. Some are good, some are better, some are okay. It is obvious to me, however, that what the world economy desperately needs right at this moment is a massive infusion of debt-free money. I have said several trillions of dollars. I don't know how many, whether I'm talking about 5 trillion or 10 trillion. But a massive infusion of debt-free money created by governments for the benefit of the taxpayers who own the patents. Unlike some of my colleagues who insist that governments should create all the new money, as was the case in feudal times, I am prepared to recommend a more moderate approach. For many years, I held out for a 50-50 split between government-created money and bank-created money. But I have now mellowed to the point where I think that 34% government-created money and 66% bank-created money would produce a sane and stable world economic system. The reduction in bank leverage would be dramatic, from 20-1 to 3-1. But they would still have enough money creation power to do the legitimate things that banks are expected to do.